Welcome to the first episode of the Coaches Challenge podcast. Uh, I'm your host, Coach Brandon. We got Kyle Visions in the back working all the tech stuff. Today, we have a very, very special guest here. There's nobody else I would have rather started my first podcast with. This guy's been a mentor to me. He's taught me things even without me knowing. One day I aspire to reach a lot of the goals that he's reached. Hopefully at a lot younger age than he did.
That was a good shot.
That's the inside scoop. We're gonna talk about that a little later. I have none other than the Mr. Kenneth Pannell here with me. Round of applause for you, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate being number one. First guy. You know, you guys are my guys, my mentees. You know, we argue, we fight, but we agree on a lot of things that make this basketball stuff, go round. And I'm happy to be here with you guys, and let's talk about some stuff tonight.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into a lot, man. We're gonna get into a lot. The first thing I want to do is discuss the reason for this podcast. I feel like there's a big void in the girls' basketball game, so to speak. And I feel like there's a void in the girls' basketball game as a whole, not just on the grassroots level, but also high school, college, and professional, where they're not getting the media attention that I think they deserve. And so because I saw there was a void there, I said, why not me be the first guy, or if not the first, then one of the first, with the network of people that I know, including one of the most important people in girls basketball is here with me now.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, you use my platform to shed light and show love to everybody, not just people that I represent, people that I may or may not know, but I'm going to get familiar with. So that was kind of my mindset behind starting this podcast. You know what I mean? So that's me. Let's talk about you, KP. Tell us about your start in girls basketball. How did you get started with this?
I started in girls basketball as somebody's DJ. Y'all better laugh at that because, it's a journey. And, shout out to the people at Rose Classic. They are the ones who kind of put me on. I don't want to use the word tricked, but he definitely put me in a position where he asked me to be his DJ and just come and play the music, and he was kind of setting me up to take over what he was doing because, he had a great vision of what he wanted to do, and now he's with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Shout out to Anton. And we always used to talk about, well, you take over that space, and I'm going to try to take over this space. So I started off as a DJ, but I'm the type of person who pays attention. Seeing people come in the gym that I knew from, my past life of being involved in boys basketball, going to a university that girls basketball was really, really high at Old Dominion University. Shout out to the Monarchs. And we had some of the, classic games back then when Dawn Staley would come and, pack the gym. And, that's when girls basketball, I knew what it was. And then coming to see games at the Rose Classic, I could really tell now this is what girls basketball really is. It wasn't rec ball to me. So started off as a DJ and just continued to learn and continue to grow in the business. And that's from, getting to know people, relationships, taking it to other states, going to Final Fours, shaking hands and kissing babies, man. That's what this is all about. And if you got a good mindset and you're a relationship person who, and this is going to sound crazy, you got to know how to talk to women also.
Hello, you're in girls basketball.
Sometimes in this space, we as men, we do dominate the space. Mm-hmm. But, we have to allow the women to be women. We have to allow them to be queens. We have to treat them like queens and not, be objective to what they want too. So being able to listen and learn every day, that's super important to me, and being able to uplift, women in women's basketball. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't have a girl who plays basketball. I don't have a daughter. I've never coached at a level that is important. So me just using my eyes to scout and to build relationships has been, amazing. It's been an amazing journey.
You said something very important, something that you always preach to me and to probably everybody else who you mentor and talk to. Your relationships is what helped you grow in this game. I always hear you say relationships is everything. Because you made a big pivot from somebody's DJ to the position that you are now. So talk a little bit about how your relationships helped you with that pivot.
Well, let's talk about where I am now for a second. For those who don't know, I run my own scouting service. I've been running that for the last 10 years, Continuous Performance Athletics, LLC, and that has helped me meet damn near every college coach in the country. I also am part of ESPN Hoop Girls. Proud to say that I'm one of 4 people, and I'm the only one on the East Coast who gets to rank and scout girls for ESPN. I'm also a member of the McDonald's All-American Committee, which was a dream come true for me because I wanted to be part of the game back when I was a player, but obviously that didn't happen. So life comes full circle, and now I am part of the committee. I also run some of the biggest middle school events in the country. We're here now this weekend, and that's something I'm sure we're going to talk about with Winter Series, and that has grown vastly very quickly. So, but my main thing is I try to help girls get to the next level. Countless, girls that have come through, Rose Classic, come through Winter Series, come through some of the other platforms that I've been in. I've been able to assist them to get to the next level. And that comes part with the relationships. So I build relationships with not only, the kids and their parents, but the AU coaches, the college coaches, the executives who make the decisions. And when I say I build a relationship, I've never been scared to introduce myself. Hello, my name is Kenneth Pannell. Everybody calls me KP. This is what I do. And you can't be afraid to do that. I mean, a lot of people are scared to, introduce themselves for fear of not being cool. What is the definition of cool? I think I'm cool.
Right.
So I can use my relationships and my personality to create a better relationship. So people have gravitated towards me. And not to mention, I throw a pretty good damn party at the Final Four, which, over the last 10 years, almost every college coach in the country has came to. So that has definitely elevated who I am. It's helped me along the way. But it does come with hard work, man. You can't just rest on your laurels. That's what a lot of guys do. They just they want the fame and the glory, but they don't want to work behind it. And that's why I'm so proud of you two. Y'all working. I mean, look at this setup that you guys have. I mean, I'm thinking I'm coming to a podcast where we're going to hook up the phone and just talk. But, I feel like I'm on $1 million worth of game right now with the type of equipment you guys
Shout
have.
out to Gilly and Wallow.
So I'm super honored that, number one, you guys kind of look at me and see how hard I work, and you're willing to do the same thing in your space. Right. That's super important, man. And it's a lost art because nowadays, people want it instantaneously. And, again, looking at this equipment ain't cheap.
No, it took me a while to get it.
So that means to me that you're invested in it. And that's another big word that people got to realize: investment. Invest in yourself. I invested in myself. I didn't always make a lot of money. I still don't make a whole lot of money. I mean, I do good. I can't front on that. But, I invested in myself. I take days where I'm on the phone all day and, That's including selling, it's including helping. That's including a little bit of everything. So you got to multitask because this is a job you just can't go to college for.
Degree in relationships.
You can't get a degree in relationships, man. That's I'm going to use that from now on. You cannot get a degree in relationships, man. You got to be able to talk to people and smile and good, bad, or indifferent. You got to stand up for what you believe in. And you got to listen to people when they have a issue. You're not always going to agree with them. But if you got a good relationship with them, you can talk to them like humans. And sometimes I think that's the lost art of relationships. People just get mad at one another. And, I'm not happy with a lot of people right now, but we're going to sit down and talk about it, and that's how you keep that relationship going.
Right. So I want to pivot a little bit because you mentioned your Final Four. For those of you who don't know, every year, women's Final Four is always at a different location. Sometimes they recycle the same cities. There's only 4 teams in attendance that's playing, but the other 300 and so Division I schools always have somebody there. And because of that, a lot of the networking and a lot of the pretty much decisions for the next season as far as who we're going to hire, who we're going to start building, or are we going to send one kid here, one kid. A lot of the politics and networking goes on there. So talk to me a little bit and to the people about how important the Final Four is in being there, and then also the event that you throw at the Final Four, how important it is to be there as a coach who wants to come up in the ranks or who wants to meet people and network and build genuine relationships starting at that time.
Yeah, so again, I've been throwing my Final Four event, and for the last about 10 years, we shut it down for COVID, obviously, and brought it back last year. Final Four is something that I didn't go to for many, many years either. I always went to the men's Final Four, and again, I don't do anything on the men's side, so, it was just natural for me to go to a men's Final Four. And then, we had some people tell us, hey, you need to really come to the women's Final Four and see what this is about. And I'll tell you, from the time I stepped into Tennessee that year, I said, oh, I'll never miss this again. I said, just the camaraderie and to be able to say, hey, I'm KP, I do this. Because what people don't realize, the college coaches want to know you just as much as we want to know them. So being able to introduce myself and vice versa, I said, uh-oh, I done found something. And just being able to be in the convention center where they have, different things, courts, drills and things that you can go attend, being able to see that and continuing education, I guess is a better word for all of this, and seeing how people move around and what they're interested in, it kind of stuck with me. And I was like, wow, this is something I really need to come to every year for my own continuing education, to build my own reputation. And so from that, I took that and I said, well, someone else was throwing an event. And we went, and I'll never forget, it was me and Thomas Davis from Exodus, Anton, my guy Fitz from he's at the University of Miami now. At the time, he was with the Miami Suns, and Joe Fenlon, and we looked outside, and the line was around the corner. I was like, oh, no, we're not standing no line. And, to our New York people, they don't stand in line either. So they
at all.
They went to the front and, finessed is a good word, the bouncer, and we went right in. And again, I saw the camaraderie once we got in. All the coaches were in there kind of letting loose, but not too wild, just to be there, to be able to kind of let the guard down, but still be able to talk to people about, maybe their next job. And, I had talked to the lady who was throwing the event, and she said, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. And I said, well, I'd very be interested to do it. And so there was born The Social. And I call it The Social because it's not a party. It's not a corporate event. It's kind of the both in one, where you can kind of let loose and relax, but also be very professional if you want to talk to somebody and try to build your resume and get another job. So, that in itself was mind blowing, because now I have people telling me, "Oh, we're only coming to the Final Four just so we can come to your event." So that to me is amazing, man. It's just how we built it and how I kept telling people to come. Because first year we had 150 people. I think last year we probably had 1,200 people. So just to say how we've grown, and that was a cold city, Minnesota. Yeah. Come on, man.
1,200 people. It wasn't cold in that building, I'll tell you that.
It was not cold in that building, but you had to have a coat before you got in that building.
Absolutely.
And so now we're here this year in 2023, and it's going to be in Dallas. So we expect a lot more people. We expect a lot more socializing. We expect a lot more relationships. And I've built a lot of relationships from people trying to seek me out and asking me, why do you throw this party? Why do you throw this such a great event? And I said, because it's kind of my give back to women's basketball, because obviously you've been there. We try to do, some drink specials. We try to do some, food specials, some things to entertain our people. And, the beautiful thing about it is we don't charge anyone to get into the event. I mean, something free. All we ask is, you RSVP. So we can create that relationship. So I can go back if I need to help a kid get to Jacksonville State. Well, Jacksonville State's been to my event, so I can reach out and talk to them. And that's been just a great way to network, a great way to build relationships.
See, for me, my favorite part, obviously the party is my favorite part. That's what I do. I'm still young. I'm only 26 years old, so I'm going to enjoy the party. But from a networking perspective, especially last year, being able to be a part of the pre-party and giving out the wristbands and seeing all the coaches line up, I take advantage of that kind of stuff. So Absolutely. For me, that's where I'm starting my relationship. That's where I'm doing my introduction. I'm handing out the wristbands. Talk, who gets this? This get that? They get this one? All right, cool. And then I'm introducing myself. Absolutely. And then I'm saying, I'm going to see you later, right? And then the relationship builds from there.
Absolutely.
So for me, it just having my part in that is huge. And a big part of that is knowing when to seize your opportunity and not being afraid to take the back seat. A lot of people would be ashamed to say, I'm not handing out wristbands and things Absolutely. Like that. Listen, I have no ego in this thing here. My job at the end of the day is to help kids in multiple different ways, whether it be reach their school, to develop on and off the court. So for me, I'm still earning my ranks in this thing. So I have no problem taking a back seat and building from the ground up. And I could say, I coach EYBL. I don't need to be handing out them, but what have I really done in the grand scheme of this game?
Absolutely.
So I don't have a problem putting in the groundwork. So for me, the groundwork is what's helping my future. And I'm cool with grinding.
Yeah.
I grind in everything I do. I'm from Harlem, New York. We learn how to grind and hustle. So I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? So let's transition back. So we did the Final Four. Now let's talk about Winter Series here. This is gonna be the third year for Winter Series, correct?
Absolutely.
Talk to me about what inspired you to start Winter Series 3 years ago.
Well, obviously, I was with another organization, and in my eyes, I just felt like, the girls weren't put on a platform that they needed to be on. I mean, this is girls basketball. I don't do boys basketball. I wanted to put the girls front and center. So I created a platform with my guys from Select to say, hey, let's get some middle school teams in here and let them bounce. Let's go. Let's make the smoke. The biggest thing is here in the Northeast and, some in the South, some in the Midwest, these girls don't play middle school basketball for their elementary school or for their middle school, or so they play with their club teams. So obviously you've been around it, Khalil, you've been around it. these club teams are loading up and they really want to come in here and compete. So for me, the biggest part of it is I get to see these kids so young. So the biggest pride I have is the kids in the 23 class, the kids that were in the 22 class. I've seen those kids since they were in the 6th grade. So I can tell people about the kids and their growth better than anyone, better than their AAU coach, better than their parents, because I've been around them, watching them very, very close, from being in my event to going to play in EYBL or playing in UA. I'm like, wow, Gamora Johnson, I remember when you were running up and down the court as a kid. That Jaden Donovan, I remember when you were playing with another team and I said, wow, this kid is super athletic. And now you're talking about kids going to the ACC to play basketball. So that to me is so special. It gives me hope for the sport, because a lot of times people say the game is dying. This game isn't dying. It's who's helping the game grow. And I feel like I'm a part of helping this game grow. And this event, Winter Series, is helping it grow. We don't do anything for boys. And that's important to me, to put these girls on a pedestal. Let them feel important, not be secondary. And sometimes that us as men, we gravitate towards professional men's basketball. Why can't we gravitate towards women's professional basketball? Why can't we help this next generation get to where the men are? Now, I know that's a big task, but here's where it starts, here at the grassroots level. So tomorrow, when this starts, some of the first games I'm going to go see is the 5th graders, because I want to see who is coming up. I've seen some of these 6th graders. I've seen some of these 7th graders. I've seen a lot of the 8th graders, because they've been in my tournaments for the last 3 years. But to me, it's exciting to see the next crop, and for me to be able to say, yeah, I saw her when she was young. I called a college coach for that kid. I told him she was going to be pretty good. That makes me feel like, I'm important to the game.
See, here's what a lot of people got to understand is these kids don't just become good out of nowhere.
That's a fact.
So why not provide a platform for the kids who are good or developing or have potential to go against each other and make each other better?
Absolutely. Because
it doesn't help a 5th grade kid playing against a bunch of local 5th graders and getting 60, and then when they finally, maybe in the spring or summertime, go against somebody their age that's decent, they get 4 points. Yeah. Or they don't impact the game. Forget scoring. They don't impact the game they normally are used to. So the reason for me that this platform is so important is because it allows people to really iron sharpen iron, really develop each other.
Absolutely.
And on top of developing each other, you build a camaraderie with the people in your class. What you got to understand is this game can be so divided. So when you have an opportunity to play some of the better kids, and you can follow each other on Instagram and challenge each other based off your workout routines and your diets and who you're playing against, this is the platform on which you build that kind of camaraderie.
Yeah, I totally agree. One thing that I always think about too is, hey, last year we had 30% of the ESPN watch list participate in Winter Series. I mean, you cannot beat that. And this year, I think we probably have a bigger percentage, because we're starting to get kids from, Alabama, Ohio. We got a team coming from next session from California. We're starting to get teams that would say, oh, wait, those guys over there are doing a pretty good job of what they're doing. So we want to participate in their stuff. So, being able to be part of ESPN, to be able to see some of these kids so early and to help say, hey, yeah, I saw you at Winter Series and you did your job, and then to come see them in the summertime. And that's one thing about me too. It's not always about the kids playing in my events. As you guys both know, I go everywhere, and when I'm going places, I'm not getting paid to do it. Now, do I get paid to do my job? Absolutely. But event operators don't necessarily pay me to come. I come because of the love of the game. And that's another lost art, the love of the game. You got to love the game. You got to want to go see these kids when they're not giving you money. That's what makes the parents and the other AAU coaches respect you. Because I've had men to KP, who you here for? I'm here to support y'all. And they like, wow, we thought you, nah, that ain't what it's all about. Yeah, you come and spend money at my event. I appreciate that. But I got to be able to do that for you guys too. That's super important that, I'm able to travel to EYBL, to UA, to Adidas, to Select 40, Elite 40, to see these kids that have participated in my events and see some kids that I haven't seen to kind of compare them. And I said, oh, yeah, this kid played in my event, and she's still what I thought she was. So that's super important for me, too.
Another thing that I like about Winter Series is you grooming these kids for what they're going to expect coming into the high school years. What do I mean by that? They're getting the evaluations. They're getting the highlight tapes. They're getting the interviews. They're getting the feedback, positive and negative.
Absolutely.
A lot of the times these kids, they get this stuff in high school and they don't know how to take it or deal with it because they never experienced it before. Correct. So it can be a gift and a curse, because sometimes if you receive all the praise as a high schooler, it may go to your head, or you might not know how to take it, and you may get content with where you at. Oh, this Joe Schmo said I'm going to be top 1 in my class. Forget working out.
Right.
Joe Schmo said these girls that I got all these offers. What am I talking to Eastern Michigan for? I got Duke looking at what? You don't never know what can happen.
Absolutely.
In the blink of an eye, God can strike quick. Oh, COVID. You lose strength. You may not be the player that you are once.
Absolutely.
Now you need Eastern Michigan because Duke gone. They on to the next one.
Yep.
Now what? So for me, when you groom these kids to learn how to deal with media, learn how to deal with getting the highlight tapes, learn how to deal with not getting the highlight tapes. What if you're one of the kids that wasn't highlighted? How do you deal with that mentally?
Yeah.
How do you be a supportive teammate?
Yeah.
How do you look at it from a positive standpoint of, dang, I didn't get it this one. It's okay. That means I got to get in the lab.
Yep.
Got to go put in more work. These kids, they're kids at the end of the day. So they're not just going to be able to, in the blink of an eye, just be able to adapt to this stuff in high school.
Yeah.
And these kids are playing up earlier and earlier now.
Yeah.
Some of them, we had a 7th grader playing 16 EYBL this year.
Wow.
So imagine if she wasn't accustomed to getting the write-ups, getting the highlights, getting the offers. Where would her mental be right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So these kind of platforms, they are for the better player because it allows you to be groomed in all aspects for your future.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with that. And, being able to play at a high level early is important because that's what your goal is. I mean, as ball players, our goal is to play at the highest level. Now, obviously, none of us made it, but here's something that I tell everybody. I'm still a professional at basketball.
Exactly.
I do basketball for a living. Tell me how many people do that. And the problem is sometimes we don't teach these kids that there's more to basketball than just dribbling the ball. So I'm hoping, some of these kids see this podcast and say, wow, well, let me explore what else there is to do. Because I want somebody to have my job someday. Not now. Let me keep doing what I'm doing now. But I want them to have my job. I want them to see that there's other avenues that can generate a very good living off of basketball. And it starts with the love of us dribbling that ball or the love of us watching basketball one day and saying, wow, how can I do that? And I turn that how into what I'm doing today. And I'm very blessed to have the accolades that I have. But in the end, the biggest thing is me helping these kids.
Let me explain something to you. I knew I was always mature when I was growing up. I always was very mature. I was always taller. I was always bigger. I had a mustache when I was 12 years old. So wow. I always had to be more mature because of my physical appearance.
I had a mustache at 30. So
because of my physical appearance and my responsibilities, I had 2 younger sisters and a single mother. So I was the man of the house. So I say that to say at a very young age, it was very evident to me that I was not making it to the league. Right. I just wasn't there. I was good when I was 12. I was one of the bigger, taller guys. And then 13 happened and everybody caught up to me. And then athleticism started kicking in and I was behind.
Yeah.
It happens. But I knew that I loved this game too much. And I was going to figure out a way to stay a part of it.
Yeah.
And what happened? My little sister decided she wanted to play basketball. Now, she stopped playing. She was in college. She took basketball all the way through high school, and it taught her life skills that allowed her to graduate from Hampton University and now in law school.
That's beautiful.
Then what else happened? My other little sister, who's now 16, one of the top players in the country in her class. So you don't think that me being smart and realizing early, yeah, this probably isn't me playing, but I'm going to learn how to stay in the game, how to teach the game. Become a coach, become a part-time trainer. You're everything when you're a coach.
Absolutely.
And still be older brother / father figure in the household.
Yep.
I knew it was not happening for me. So why not show the love and pass it on to the younger generation that could possibly make something happen?
Yeah.
Which happened. My sister graduated from college. She's in law school. My other sister has a multitude of college offers right now where she should go to, and she's one of the top players in her class. So for me, job well done. It's sometimes it's about, again, I'm not the big man on campus. I don't mind taking a back seat to help somebody else. And that's exactly what I do. Now, do I help myself? Absolutely. When it's time.
This game, we had to make money.
Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the ultimate sacrifice. No, I make sure I'm taken care of. But in me being taken care of, I can now help others. I'm not selfish with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's pivot this a little bit. So we talked about building the athletes and helping their mental out, because right now what we see is over 1,000 people in the transfer portal right now.
Oh, wow.
I want your opinion on who do you blame, and it doesn't have to be one specific person, but what is causing such a huge number in the transfer portal right now?
In my opinion, it's partly the parents' fault. It's partly the student athlete's fault. And it's partly the coaches, the college coaches' fault. And I'm going to go through, all of them. With the parents, well, let's start with the student athlete. They want instant gratification. They want to play not now, but right now. And they want to average 20, 30 points, knowing that, at this level, at certain levels, you'll just be a role player. Then we go to the parents. When I was in college, my dad he had none of that. These parents nowadays are a little different. If little Susie says she not happy, then they're gonna find a way out. Instead of the tough times. We have had tough times. I've had tough times. I tell people I had hot dogs for a week at one point just because, I didn't want to have to call my parents. So we don't have tough-minded kids, and we have parents who allow their kids to not fail. Now, talk about failing for a minute. Failing helps you win. You can't win everything, man. You're going to have to fail at some point to win.
Because if you don't fail, how do you know when you're winning?
Correct. And then the third one is the college coaches. We have to understand this is a business. This is their livelihoods, and they're looking for who can help them right now keep their job, get them more money. So, all the bells and whistles they told you when they were recruiting you, and you come in and you don't perform, they got to find somebody bigger, stronger, faster, because they don't want to lose their job either. They don't want to lose their livelihoods. And is that always positive? No, but that's just part of life.
So let me ask you this. Where is the silver lining in that? Because, yes, you have to recruit a kid to get them on campus. You're going up against 300-plus other schools that want a kid. But there has to be some kind of lining, because you also want to be honest with the kid. And like, so where, in your opinion, where is the silver lining in being honest but also recruiting the kid and telling them what you want to get them on your school?
So I can't answer that question, but this is what I can answer is people like us, we have to hold these coaches accountable. And I hold them accountable. Hey, what's going on? Why isn't, I seen the score was 70-45. My kid get 3 minutes. Then I expect honesty from the coaches. But I also expect honesty from the kid. Because if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then maybe it's your fault. Mm. But college coaches tell me, oh, well, they need to do this, and this. Okay, what you going to do when they do this, and this? And then if that happens, then we know we can't trust that school. We can't trust that coach. And I've dealt with that, numerous amount of times where they tell me one thing and then they try to do another. Now, slowly that's stopping with me because, and this is harsh, I know how to cut people's water off.
Mm. Cancel Christmas.
Like, I don't play with these kids because, it's bigger than basketball. Like, I've preached it to the kids before they got to your school. Now you think when they come to your school that it's just going to be like, nah, we good now? Nah, man. It's got to be a two-way street. So knowing if I'm dealing with the kid and they come to your school, you got to hear from me. Mm. I mean, that's just what it is, man. We have to find people. Your mom has to be your mom when it comes to your sister. She shouldn't have to be calling the coach trying to find out what's going on. Now, you're in the business. You can do that.
Right.
But everybody ain't got a you in the business. Everybody ain't got a me in the business. But the ones that do, they know they in good hands. We're not playing these games with these kids. Not with their lives, man. I'm not playing no games with them. And I tell the college coaches that too. Like, I'm religious to saying I'll cuss a college coach out, but I'll cuss the parent and the kid out too. Because it's got to be a two-way street. We got to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And that's the tough love that's missing in this business. People want to get the fast dollar. They want to throw events and just to get the money in and not take the time to, all right, let me find out how this parent and this kid is so when I do tell a school about them, that it fits.
So we talked about the responsibility of the parent, of the athlete and the college coach. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about, there's two other people I feel are responsible in this. The parent and the club coaches as well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like parents, they're not honest with their kid and themselves as far as what level of scholarship and athlete their child are. And it could be the ignorance. Sometimes they just don't know.
Yeah, they've never been through it. So a lot of times they're living through their kid too, because they didn't have that opportunity. So they want the super best for them. Now, that's not saying that you can't reach that level, but at some point you got to come to reality too. Now, you said something that you might get in a little trouble with the AAU coaches.
Well, here's the thing, right? I've been in a couple different organizations now. This is my last organization. I'm on record. I'm never leaving Exodus NYC. So people, public service announcer, please stop calling me. I'm not leaving. I got several different phone calls. It's not happening.
You got to be glad.
I get it. Everybody's doing their job. Just listen to me. I'm good. Okay, back to reality. I did say something that may get club coaches mad because you guys got to stop being so selfish, man. Jesus Christ. A kid is not Duke. A kid is not North Carolina. If they have, again, no disrespect to any colleges, I'm just using an example. They have Eastern Carolina, Western Kentucky, and then North Carolina. Odds are, I would have a saying, you are who you're being recruited by.
Absolutely.
Not your top offer.
Absolutely.
If you have one ACC offer and 7 Atlantic 10 offers, you're an Atlantic 10 kid.
Correct.
You're not a bottom, and it's the bottom of the barrel ACC. I'm not even going to call any schools out. That's not you.
Yeah.
Stop. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
You're taking a huge gamble that's unnecessary, and guess what? A year later, you end up in the transfer portal and at the A-10 school anyway.
Correct.
Why?
Correct.
These club coaches need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Stop just sending a kid somewhere because it looks good for your program. It don't help the kid.
Well, here's something even crazy about that. Then when it's time for them to transfer, guess who gets the phone call? Guess who they call to help them?
KP.
And listen, I never give up on a kid. And again, it goes back to what I said about relationships. I'm always going to help the kid. I'm always going to help numerous AAU coaches. You know, I'm friends with damn near all of them. So I'm always going to help the kid. But, you know, we know when they sign to Kentucky, that means they're going to go get 3 other kids thinking they can sign to Kentucky or the UConn. So I understand that it's a vicious cycle. But that's not my job. My job is to make sure when they come to me that I put them in the right situation. Mm. And that's sometimes what you say. These high school coaches too, AAU coaches want to put them somewhere so they can feel like they get the glory for it. Yes, I sent a kid to Notre Dame. Listen, in the big scheme of things, nobody cares. Nobody cares. We want to send the kid where she's going to get a degree and a job. This is not the NBA next level type of things. You know, we want to make sure that, because me, even when they finish college, I'm still trying to help them. I'm still trying to help them get a job, man. People don't do that. After they go to college, all right, we're done with them. No, we're not doing that, man. And I do it because I expect, if I'm not around, I expect y'all to do that for my kid. I expect y'all to say, hey, nah, that's KP kid. We got to make sure he good, man. And I do it, and I tell all these other kids that I help, I tell these all families, hey, listen, if I'm not around, please just make sure my kid is good. Because that's really one of the main reasons I get in it, because I want to make sure my kid is good. Now, am I going to leave him a legacy? You damn right. Does he want things out of a life that, you know, we don't know yet? He wants to be an NBA player. You know, if he's blessed with that, more power to him. But guess what? We want to try to own the team too. And I need to leave this Winter Series legacy, this ESPN legacy, my scouting service legacy to him so he can have something. I want him to already be set up in life. So his responsibility is to go to school and concentrate on what he wants to be, not trying to immediately make money. He's going to have something that he can fall back on to make money on. But concentrate on what you want to be, KP. And that's my son's name, KP. Concentrate on being the best you want to be. But know that your dad, he set you up. So that's one of the main reasons I do this. So, you know, I'm telling y'all now, if I ain't around, y'all better make sure my kid is good, or I'm going to come haunt all of y'all.
Nah, that goes without saying, man. I told you that multiple times, man.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about this. What is your ultimate goal for winning series this year? What's your big picture? What do you want to see accomplished, and how do you elevate the bar to compared to the other 2 years?
Selfishly, you know, I want to be the best, man. I want to have the best talent. I want people to recognize us as a national brand. I want people to say, oh, that's the dude that run Winter Series. Now, people recognize me for my other accolades, but that's one of the accolades I want them to recognize me for. That dude puts on a great tournament. You know, the biggest thing with Winter Series is the growth. I want it to grow. You know, eventually we want to go to the West Coast. We want to go down south. Will it be called Winter Series? No, it may be called Spring Series, something else. But I do want to grow this and be the ultimate middle school tournament in the country. You know, and we're doing some things to make that happen. You know, talking with my man Tucker Neal to create some things down at Run for the Roses, create some regional stops for, you know, middle school teams. So look out for some of the things that we're doing with that stuff, because this middle school space, I think, is just underserved. So I think with me being, you know, kind of the head of it, and I say that word, you know, lightly, because I'd rather a woman be ahead of it, because I want these little girls to see somebody that looks like them that can do this. And, you know, that's something else I'm working on. But I do want this brand to be recognized as the best middle school circuit in the world.
And I believe that there's so much. I agree 100%. Like, you see with all these different leagues and stuff, EYBL, Adidas Gauntlet, UA, Select 40, Elite 40, all these different leagues. It's 9th through 11th.
Correct.
What are the middle schoolers doing during the spring and summertime?
Correct.
You know, that's always been a thing. So it's like these are the guys that are gonna be in the 9th and 11th, eventually they have to get some kind of grooming. We got to get some kind of love there.
Correct.
So that's why I love what you're doing and growing it beyond just the wintertime, because they don't stop playing basketball in the winter.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So that's important, man. This has been great, man. You know, I don't want to kill you too much. I know it's 10 o'clock. We just killed you on the court and everything.
Here we go. Remember, I'm 51 years old.
Hey, once you step on the floor, you're a basketball player.
Buckets, man. I'm still giving buckets.
Hey, listen, we got to
tell your boy Gino I'm looking for him too.
Oh,
how
man.
About that?
Oh, Gino. Listen, we got a big weekend ahead. Hopefully we'll be able, not hopefully, we're going to be able to do another one of these. And
anytime y'all need me, man, I'm always available for you guys, man. Let's make this something, man. Let's make this, the thing to go to when it's time for, women's, girls, grassroots basketball, man. I love what you guys are doing. I love your train of thought, man, and I'm always available for you guys. You two are special to me beyond, this basketball stuff. I consider y'all my little brothers, so I always want to be able to help you guys.
Well, there it is. We're going to end it just like that, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. KP, Kyle Vision's in the back in the cut. He's doing all the dirty work, man. Y'all don't see it, but it's going down. You know what I mean? So this is great.
His jump shot broke though.
Yeah, he didn't play. We're gonna say he didn't play because all he was doing was rebounding and airballing. He made. Hey, listen, we going to NASA. We good. He got enough air for all of us. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
That's a wrap, man. Thank you guys. Tune in next week. Please subscribe. This is gonna be on everything: YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud. Please subscribe, like, comment. All that stuff matters, man. Support is free, and it don't cost you anything unless you're a hater.